Hi, hello students. Welcome to Let's Understand Physics. Like, share, comment and subscribe. So, in the previous video I have taught you about luminous and non-luminous objects. So, luminous objects are the objects which produce their own light. Example, sun, stars. So, the non-luminous objects are the objects which do not produce their own light. Example, human beings, metals or any other thing, moon and planets also we have seen. Now, so in the room if we want to see any object, we need light, and also we need our eyes also. So light and sight are required to see any object. Now in your room, from your room if you want to see to the other room or outside of the room, in some places you can see, in some places means through some objects you can see, through some objects you cannot see. So through the objects you can see are called transparent objects. Okay, so transparent objects are the objects which allows light completely, and they allow us to see the other side what is there. Example, glass and water, pure water, and air also transparent, isn't it? We can see. Then next, so through some other objects we can see but we cannot see clearly. Those are called translucent object. Okay, so those objects are, they can allow the light but not completely. Example, butter paper, oil paper, etc. And then some of the objects which do not allow the light to pass through them are called opaque objects. Okay, so these opaque objects like walls, through wall you cannot see what is there in the other room, but instead of wall if you have a glass window, you can see what is there in the other room. Yes or no? So these three types of objects are also very important to know or to study the properties of light. Okay, now properties of light. In 6th standard itself, you have learned one of the main properties of the light, which is rectilinear propagation of the light. Means light travels in the straight line. Straight line, for this you have learnt a experiment also in the 6th class. What is that experiment? A simple experiment. For example, if you have a candle and if you have a pipe, you can see the light of the candle through the pipe if the pipe is kept straight. If you bend the pipe, you cannot see the light. That is the experiment you have learnt in your 6th standard. This is very important. Light travels in a straight line. For learning the other two properties, what are we going to learn in class 10? Reflection and refraction. Okay, so with this experiment we learn one more thing also in the light, which are shadows, formation of shadows. Okay, so we have learned transparent, translucent and opaque objects, isn't it? Now shadows. When the light traveling in the straight line, if you place any opaque object in the path of the light like this, then you will have a shadow formed. The light is traveling in the straight line. This object, what it is doing, it is not allowing the light to pass through it, so that light cannot go through it. Then what happens? Its shadow will be formed. If you take a screen here, on the screen you can see this object's shadow. You can see in real life also. Yes or no? So during mornings or evenings or afternoons, when there is light, if you are standing in the path of the light, your shadow will be formed on the ground. Now if the sun is here, if you are standing here on the ground, behind you the shadow is formed. Okay, so shadow is always formed like this. As you are obstructing the path of the light, behind the shadow is formed, and this shadow's sizes can be changed with the position of the light and the opaque object. Okay, you can use any of the opaque objects and take one small torchlight and observe where the shadow is forming. If you bring the light very near to the object, how the shadow is forming. If you are taking it far away, how the shadow is forming. And if you change the direction of the light, how the shadows are forming. All these you can do with a torchlight and one opaque object. Okay, a simple experiment. This also you have learnt in your class 6 itself. Okay, and then now when the light is traveling, if there is opaque object which is very small, point size object, let us take. Now instead of going in the straight line, light just takes a curve. It just bends at the curvature, whatever the object, the point. Okay, like this it bends instead of going in the straight line. So this we call it as diffraction, this bending of light at the corners of the object if the opaque object is very small. Okay, so this is called diffraction. Understood? This diffraction you will learn in your class 12 in detail. Now you don't require, just for the information. I hope all of you understood this diffraction. And then other than diffraction, we have some other properties of light also you are going to study in your class 12. Class 12 is also very important, as you know, and for class 12 this class 10 light, reflection and refraction in human and colorful world, electricity, magnetic effects of electric current, all these chapters are very important. Okay, so learn here clearly so that in class 12 it will become easy for you. Okay, and then we have discussed, we can see the object in the light and sight. Yes or no? How do we see? We can see only with the help of reflection. So what is this reflection? We will see now. Whenever the light falls on any object, we have seen, right? There are objects and there is light falling on it. Then the light gets reflected from the object. Now, if this reflected ray reaches our eyes, we can see the particular object. This is the object. Now this is our eye. So we cannot see incident ray. But this reflected ray is the one which is reaching our eye. So due to this reflected rays, we can see the object. Understood? So reflection means what? Reflection means bouncing back of light from any surface or object is called reflection of light. I hope all of you understood this. Now in reflection what we have? In reflection, to see the reflection we need a mirror now. Generally we learn by the mirrors the reflection. Okay, so what is this mirror? Mirror is what you see in your house. Every day you see the mirror, isn't it? So mirror is a smooth shiny surface. It is a smooth shiny surface which makes all the light falls on it to bounce back. It, it bounces back the light. Okay, now we will see how the light is bouncing back. This experiment also you have done in your class 6. Just 3 of your friends you can have. Then just ask one of your friend to hold a mirror. What is this? Mirror. And then you stand here in front of the person, your friend, and hold the torch light. Now this torch light is on. The light is falling on this, and ask one of your friend, one more friend is there, right? Ask him to hold a board, anything like cardboard. Then you can see the light falling on this. Okay, as simply you can use a wall also. Now take one torchlight and focus the torchlight on the wall. You can observe the light is coming back. If it is mirror, it will be very clear for you to understand how the light is bouncing back. If not torchlight, if you have laser light also, use the laser light. Okay, you can observe that strong laser beam is required for this. Okay, now this is the reflection. With this you can have laws of reflection. Okay, in class 9 you have learnt laws of reflection of sound. Now laws of reflection of light you are going to learn. The same laws are applicable here also. Now first one is, we'll see with the diagram first. Now mirror I am taking. So what I told, mirror is a smooth shiny surface. So this is the reflecting surface. Okay, and below of this you have to draw like this. So this surface we call it as silvered. What do we call? This is silvered. Okay, then take one light beam of light. Generally here I am just drawing a ray of light instead of taking beam of light. Okay, because we have learned light travels in a straight line, so here we are going to learn only rays, and one single ray we are going to take. Now this ray which is coming towards the mirror, we call it as incident ray. What do we call this one? As incident ray. Incident means coming from the luminous object towards the mirror. Okay, now where it is touching, there is a point where the mirror is touching the incident ray, or incident ray is touching the mirror. So this is that point where the incident ray is touching the mirror. Now at this point you just draw a line perpendicular to the mirror. This line must be perpendicular to the mirror. Okay, so this line we call it as normal. It makes the angle 90 degree. Perpendicular means what? 90 degree to the surface, that is mirror, reflecting surface. Next, now as the incident ray and normal we have, the incident ray will bounce back, isn't it? How it bounces back? It always bounces back to the other side of the normal. Remember this is very important. It always bounces back to the other side of the normal. I hope all of you understood this. Now where do you draw your reflected ray? it always bounces back to the other side of the normal. This is the reflected ray. Check the arrow marks also. Okay, so incident rays arrow mark is towards the mirror and reflected rays arrow mark is away from the mirror. Now measure the angle between normal and the incident ray. The angle between the normal and the incident ray, we call it as this angle. We call it as angle of incidence. Let us take theta. Angle I you can represent as theta. The same angle you will have for normal and reflected ray. Between normal and reflected ray also you will have the same angle, theta only. So the reflected ray and normal will have angle of reflection, angle R is equal to theta. So with this you can conclude that angle of incidence will be equal to angle of reflection always, whatever the surface it may be. And incident ray, reflected ray and the normal at the point of incidence, take it as O, will lie on the same plane. So incident ray normal to the surface at the point of incidence and the reflected ray all lie in the same plane. Okay, so for this plane you can take a paper. Okay, just take the mirror like this. Your incident ray and reflected ray both will stand or they form on the paper itself. Okay, if horizontally you are taking the light, at the same horizontal place you will have reflected ray, and normal also will be drawn there itself. That's why all of them will lie on the same plane we take. Okay, I hope all of you understood this. What I am telling is, take one horizontal paper like chart, okay, and place the mirror vertically. Now take one torchlight which is giving the light towards the mirror and it automatically reflects the light, the mirror, isn't it? And you will draw the normal as well. Now all the three will be on the paper only, on the chart. That's why they are taken as all of them will lie on the same plane. Where? They lie on the same plane at the point of incidence. Okay, so these are the two laws of reflection, very very important. Learn it properly. Okay, and in the next video we will see different types of reflection, and then we will see about image formation by the plane mirror. Okay, now here I have taught you straight line, how the light travels in the straight line, and about rays also we have learned, and the definitions of rays also we have understood. Understood everyone? And then light, sometimes when the opaque object is very very small, instead of going in a straight line it just bends and travels at that corner. So this we call it as diffraction. Sometimes if you are taking this bending, we have to take the light as a wave. And some other things, if you are observing in the nature, this wave nature will be inadequate. In that case, when the light is what if it is with any other matter, if you have to check the properties of light, then it needs a particle nature also. I mean, we can observe the particle nature also. So with these two, some scientists, they have concluded that light is neither a wave nor a particle, it has both qualities. Understood? I think all of you understood this, but this now it is not required for you. You will learn this in class 12. Thank you, and like, share and subscribe. Comment me if you have any doubt in this. If you need any clear information about any other concept also. Thank you.